Welcome, Greek U Nation, to episode number 492 of the Fraternity Foodie Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Eilon, CEO of Greek University. I'm a speaker and an author. Our fifth book just came out. It's called Perseverance and How to Be a Great Fraternity or Sorority Alumnus. So go and pick up that book on Amazon or Barnes & Noble today. We call these episodes the Fraternity Foodie Podcast because there is nothing like great food to bring college students together. Fun fact, at a moment like this, where college students are facing higher education costs, higher inflation causing food costs to rise, and also higher interest rates for these future home purchases, I think it's really important for us to have more conversations about achieving financial freedom and how is that actually going to be possible for Gen Z students. Our next guest has some really great ideas for you on exactly how we can all make this happen. Now, in the aftermath of the 2008 financial crisis, many were left to pick up the pieces of shattered dreams and dwindling bank accounts. Dr. Robert Ramirez was one of them. But instead of succumbing to despair, he transformed his setback into a powerful comeback. Today, he's an investing and business expert, guiding countless individuals on their paths to financial freedom. In this episode, I will be sitting down with Dr. Robert Ramirez, a renowned investing and business expert, author, educator, and speaker. Dr. Ramirez's journey is one of resilience and triumph. After nearly losing everything in 2008, he rebuilt his life and dedicated his career to helping others achieve financial security. In this episode, we're going to dive into the crucial topic of negotiating financial freedom, exploring how to build wealth through passive income in today's rapidly evolving digital economy. Get ready to gain valuable insights and strategies that can empower your financial future. Welcome to the show, Dr. Ramirez.
Michael, thank you so much for having me, and thank you for all the help and support and education that you provide to our students. So important what you do.
Hey, listen, I really appreciate that. I'm really just trying to build something that my younger self, an undergraduate in college, really could have used, and really just offer it publicly with no cost at all to the students. So that way they have a library of experts to kind of go through and listen to what they have to say to help improve their lives. I wish I was dreaming about a resource like this when I was a college student.
Exactly. It's very important. Thank
I
you.
appreciate that. And so let's talk a little bit. I mean, I know you are a professor, you're a faculty chair, academic excellence at DeVry University, their Sherman Oaks campus. Now, I mean, we both read a lot of, these various magazines that are aimed at higher education. The Chronicle, for example. Higher education has come under a lot of fire recently by the public, mostly because of rising costs of tuition. And also, more college age students are opting for, let's just call it non-traditional paths, such as trade schools, for example. What is it like to actually implement and manage all of the programs for the undergraduates and graduate programs on a college campus today?
Well, yeah, you did lay out the foundation, and I appreciate that. It's interesting to know that the 2021 and COVID, that changed a lot of things. For now, an example is we've got probably about 85% of our students that attend online. We used to have some big, large campuses around the whole U.S. We had 100 one time, but now we're down to smaller locations, and mainly for military students, international students who need to attend on site. But the good majority are going online, and that way we haven't raised tuition in many years, so it's good for everybody. And with new technology, the education online has become very good with blending the technology with the course, the book, live lessons, the whole package. We can still give that individual attention to everybody. So it's working out well, and it's to the benefit of these students because they're spending less time traveling and less time with gas. The average age of our students are a little bit older. They're like between 26, 35. But it's interesting to know that most of them have kids. They're working one job, sometimes students. So we recognize them and we provide a lot of support to them.
Yeah, you make some really good points with technology. I think we learned quite a bit during the pandemic in terms of what we can do and what we can't do online. And certainly, as somebody who is a graduate student in a dissertation program right now, I got a couple of kids, I got a job. Yeah, I don't really have a lot of time to commute back and forth to a physical campus. So the fact that I'm able to do a lot of the work online really saves me a ton of time and it fits into my schedule. So I certainly think that if we're going to grow the base of undergraduate students, I think we have to start looking at non-traditional students, such as adults, people maybe who perhaps have dropped out and now are looking to complete their education. So I think you're on the right path. I think that's really interesting. Now, of course, our college student listeners, they want to retire comfortably. I think we can all agree on that. So, what is this retirement crisis that you're talking about today?
That is a big issue. In fact, that's going to be the title of my next book, Retirement Crisis in America, because every day we've got 11,000 baby boomers that retire. There's 4 or 5 working generations in the workforce, and the older bunch are the baby boomers like myself, and we are going to retire in big numbers. But what's happening goes back actually to 1935 when Roosevelt created the Social Security Act. He said, well, most people are living till 66. And so, we can retire at 65, and then you're going to get paid a little bit of Social Security. Social Security was meant to be about 35 to 40% of your income. But what's happening now with better biological drugs, people exercising more, trying to eat better, we're living 20, 25 years longer back in 1935. And so people, the baby boomers, we didn't plan to live another 25 years. We're living so much longer. So we're running out of money. And for women, it's even worse because they end up living longer than men. And they don't have as much of a savings account because they took some time off to take care of the kids and raise them. And so the Social Security won't be as high, and they're living longer, and so it's even worse for women. Plus, women still make about 17% less than men, which is unfortunate, but that's just the facts right now. It's getting better. It used to be 20%. So that's a big issue. But for our college students, if they have to remember, start planning now. If they can save just $500 starting like at 25, $500 a month, and make a reasonable interest on that compounded, they're going to have $1.5 million by the time they retire at 65. So you add Social Security on top of that, and then you add some passive income coming in, they're going to do well. But what's key is they have to plan for it.
Yeah, I agree completely. And that's what Gen Z has that you and I don't have, which is a lot of time. So that compounding interest, that certainly is going to make a huge difference for them. So I agree with you completely. Start as early as you possibly can because of compounding interest. That's going to help you out a great deal. Now,
Yeah.
there are some financial myths that are out there about retirement. So let's set the record straight. What are some of these financial myths?
Well, you hear many times, oh, when you retire, your taxes are going to be less and you won't be spending as much money. But that's a myth. Because many people, we love to travel. We want to have those experiences, go all, you work hard through your life, and then when you retire, you want to travel. You got grandkids, and they all moved away. Like I've got 10 grandkids, and they all live different places.
Mm.
So there's a lot of travel, airplane fares, and healthcare. So all these things are getting more expensive. And so it's not really, when you retire, you're going to be spending at least as much money. So you want to, you don't want to be pulling from your principal. You want to keep that income steady and coming in. So you do need as much money. The second myth is that Social Security is going to cover all your expenses. No, it was never meant to cover all your expenses. 35 to 40% maybe. The rest is up to you through your 401k, through your passive income, through your other investments. So I'm always encouraging my students to have multiple streams of income, passive income coming in. And then a third one is your health care is going to get, another myth is Social Security and Medicare is going to take care of all your health care. No, they don't pay for dental. They don't pay for your time. There's lots of things that they don't cover. And you just need to be aware of that and plan for those things.
Yeah. Really, really good points. I agree with you completely. You can't depend on Social Security for 100% of your income as a retired adult. Really got to take control of that. A 401k is a great way to do it. Lots of employers have matching programs with their 401k as well. So that's free money that you
Yep.
can get from your employer. So you really have to take advantage of all of these things. If you're not maxing out your 401k and really, taking advantage of every dime, especially of the matching, that's really, really critical. That's going to help you to really, really boost the savings that you have. So I think those are all great points.
Yes.
I like that a lot. Now, let's talk a little bit about young professionals, college students. Are there ways that they can start to earn passive income early on in life?
Yes, absolutely. What they need to think about, well, one buzz right now, and it is a buzz, is entrepreneurship. Well, starting a business, right? I've got so many students that would like to start a business, and many of the students have already started a business. Well, that's passive income coming in. If you're working full time, you're really working hard, 40, 50 hours a week. But a lot of people start multiple businesses and they take a look at their skill set. What skills do they have? What do they enjoy doing? What are their hobbies? But because of the power of the internet and social media, there's never been a better time to create a business and have something on the side. Maybe you've got your full-time employment, but start doing things on the side that are going to generate a little bit of income. And so I encourage all the younger students to think about what can they do on the side to, maybe they write a course, maybe they write a book, maybe they tutor, maybe they like their hobby is making scented candles. How can they make those scented candles and set them across the world? You, anything that you enjoy or that you've got a skill set for, you can turn into passive income.
Yeah, I
Just got
love
to
that.
spend the time to think about it.
Yeah. I love that entrepreneurial spirit that Gen Z certainly has, and all the side
They
hustles they're
do.
involved with. And you never really know, where one of these businesses might go. You might just be developing the big business that you've been dreaming of, and you can move right into it upon graduation and then go into a full-time role as you're building this business as a side hustle. So I totally agree with you. I think college students, this is the time for you to experiment. This is where you really need to throw wild
Mhm.
stuff up against the wall to figure out what's working and what's not working, because the answer might just surprise you. So I can't do that today, right? Because I got a mortgage, I got a couple of kids that I got to get them
Kids.
through college,
Yep.
right? So I can't, be just trying risky businesses as where I am in life today, almost 50 years old. But in college, you absolutely can, because you don't have a lot
You
of those
can.
responsibilities. So I would highly encourage you to try things that are a little bit off the wall just to see what works in terms of that side hustle.
Sure. Is it risky? Yes. Think of companies like Elon Musk is a good
Yeah.
example.
Mhm.
SpaceX, Tesla, right? And he didn't have enough. He was running two huge companies, didn't have enough money to support both of them. He said in an interview, if that last rocket blew up, he would have lost both of his businesses. He takes a lot of risk. But now, where is he now? He's the world's wealthiest billionaire,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
Bezos as well took a he took a creative idea. Well, I'll take a bookstore and I'll turn it online. And now
It's
now
huge.
that's Amazon and it's one of the biggest companies in the world. It's amazing. And all these companies started with one person, an idea, adding value and they started in their basement, their living room, their garage. They borrowed some money from somebody to start this business. But if it's a great idea and it adds value, you can grow that business and do very well.
Totally agree. I want to talk about investing because a lot of the young professionals who are listening, they don't typically know how to invest. They want to invest, but they don't know how to do it. So, how should young professionals, college students, how should they go about learning in order to invest for themselves?
Two things. One, education, it's continual, as you know. You got to keep evolving, you got to keep learning. Momentum is one of my favorite words. You try something, if it doesn't quite work, you learn from that experience and you move on and you try something different. Hard work and dedication. But what our students can do is start listening to podcasts about about investing. Start reading books. YouTube has so much information. Open an account on Fidelity or BlackRock. One of the big places where you can own an account. Start investing small so that you can get the feel of it. Yeah, one thing I tell students, if you don't have the time or if you're afraid, don't just have your money making 0.25% in a savings account. If you simply put it in the SPY index, for those who don't know, it's the 500, some of the best companies in the US are in the SPY index. And right now, just this year, that SPY index is up 17%. So compare 17% versus making 0.25%. And all you have to do is have your money in the SPY index. Warren Buffett said, hey, he's 93. Warren Buffett said, hey, when I pass away, I want all my money, 95% of it, to go into the SPY index for my wife in that annuity, and the other 5% to be invested in bonds. But anybody can do this. It's very simple. You can do it within 30 minutes. You can open up an account, put some money in the SPY index, and then dollar cost average. Every time you get a paycheck, put a little bit more in. So if it goes down, you're buying more stock for cheaper. And if you keep doing that, history shows that over the last 50 years, the SPY index has at least gone up 9%. So then you're beating inflation, you're making money, you're compounding your money. So just get started with momentum.
Yeah, great advice. I really like that strategy. I think it's a solid strategy, and the numbers prove out over time that it absolutely works. So really good stuff. You have some non-negotiable habits for good investors. What are some of those non-negotiable habits that you're talking about?
So one is don't leave it up to somebody else, right? Because if you leave your money to somebody else to invest, they're always going to say, okay, don't worry about it. It'll come back. The market always comes back. But there's so many things that you can do as an investor, if you're an active investor, that is so much better than what an investor pro can do for you. Like right now, we got some stocks called the Magnificent Seven. In 2023, they increased by 20. In 2023, they increased by 110%. So that's huge. People doubled their money in 1 year. So if you're not on the sidelines and you're not aware of stocks like the Magnificent Seven, which was Nvidia, Facebook, Tesla, Amazon, then you lost out on those opportunities by leaving it up to somebody else. So don't let somebody else just manage your money. Learn. It's the information is out there. You can do it better yourself. So you have to be an active investor. So that's one non-negotiable. The second one is education. You gotta keep learning and pushing yourself.
Yeah, totally agree. I mean, listen, we're on the same page there. I'm always going back and learning more. The more I learn, the more I discover I know nothing, and that the universe has just like limitless
Yeah.
information. And so I love this process of learning, and I'm trying to show my own kids who are now undergraduates that they too can get a master's degree, get a doctorate, and do all the things. But it's about lifelong learning. That's really what I'm showing them, is that even at, age almost 50, here I am just continuing to learn more. And I hope that I'm setting that model for them to copy, because I think it's important. And, the same thing is true for investing. Just keep learning, and ultimately you're going to get to where you want to go. I also wanted to talk a little bit about artificial intelligence, because it's rapidly evolving right now. And I'm wondering, how can we all use artificial intelligence in order to improve and also simplify our lives?
Oh, artificial intelligence it's huge now, right? We've got so many different platforms. There's Chat GPT. And the way I use it as well, is I'll ask, you got to ask the right questions and then keep asking questions until you get what you want. You got to have to verify the information, because it's not always accurate information. Sometimes it makes mistakes. Sometimes the information is biased. But if you're not sure how to get started on something, just ask an AI app like ChatGPT, and it'll get you started, and it'll get the wheels turning in your head so that then you can add value, improve it, and do something different. Two is robotics merging along with AI. We got things that are coming out that are going to, we already have robots that will mow your lawn and will clean your windows and will follow you throughout the house to be your, so that you can do anything you want to your house, and security cameras and all kinds of things. We got flying planes that are coming out, and the AI that's in the technology of cars, electric cars. It's amazing. So keep up with the technology, because you're going to be using it. And the more you know about AI and how that works, you won't be afraid of it, when it's your time to, take advantage of some of these.
I agree with you completely. It's interesting to me because higher ed, I mean, there are many folks within higher ed that are really pushing back on artificial intelligence, mostly because they think that it's cheating, et cetera. But the reality is that I think employers today, they expect you to know how to use artificial intelligence in order to be more efficient. So at the end of the day, if our college students aren't prepared for the workforce because they don't know how to use a tool that the employers expect them to know how to use, then we're in trouble. So I highly recommend that
Yep.
professors really, let your students use artificial intelligence. You can certainly come up with a system that works for you, which is, let's say you have certain assignments that are green. That just means you can use artificial intelligence as much as you want in order to complete the assignment. Maybe you have something that's yellow, where the first two questions can be answered with artificial intelligence. The second two questions can be answered only with your own work. And then maybe you have some red assignments that have to be completely your own. But at the end of the day, you have to give them exposure to artificial intelligence so that way they understand how to solve real world problems using this tool. It's incredibly important. We just want them to be prepared more than anything, because I do feel like it's the future. It's not going away.
No,
I
right.
don't think we can put this back into,
You can't.
Pandora's box. I mean, it's out, right? So I
It's
think we
out.
have to learn how to live with it, right?
Let me add a couple more things to what you said. Is it's okay if my students use like ChatGPT,
Yeah.
but I say, please cite it. If you're going to use it, cite it, and then give me your opinion, give me an example, add some value to it.
Yeah.
But you definitely need to cite that, where you got that information, just like if you were getting the information from a textbook.
Yeah.
But can we stop it? No, it's just like the calculator or the internet. You can't
Right.
you can't stop it. It's innovation, and that's what we do in the U.S. We innovate, and then we move forward.
Yeah.
So
I think that's the
it's a
right way
good
to handle it.
tool, but
Mhm.
it doesn't replace humans, though.
Right. Completely agree. I wanted to talk a little bit about your book. I see a big copy of your book behind you. It's called Achieving Financial Freedom, Building Wealth Through Passive Income in the New Digital Age of Financial Intelligence. Tell our audience, what are some of the key things that they're going to learn if they go and pick up your book on Amazon right now?
Well, for college students, one of the first things I tell them, I talk to them about, is debt. And then if they have debt, how to get out of debt. The most important thing. If you're a credit card and you're paying 22% interest, you're paying that money to a bank that's making money off of you. And so you don't want that. So I teach people how to improve their credit score so it's above 800. It's actually easy to do. It only takes a month to improve your credit score. And I've helped so many students improve the credit score so that they can, pay less interest when they buy a house, get a car, even get a credit card or any type of loan. The second thing is I teach them what's the most important things to watch in the market. What are the important market indicators to follow, to understand. And then I talk to them about basics about accounting and finance. That's how we keep track of who's winning, the money. So accounting and finance is how we track how the company is doing. And then I talk about all kinds of passive income ideas and why that's important and what you can do. I teach them how to get started in the stock market. I talked to them about another big topic, which is hot right now, is Bitcoin, Ethereum, blockchain. So I explained what is blockchain, how do miners receive Bitcoin from using blockchain? Should we be investing in it? My opinion, I'm invested in it, and I would say yes. Do I put 100% in it? No, it's risky, so I put a small percentage in it. But I know if you understand it, you know, just in January, 11 major ETFs endorsed and opened up electronic traded funds, ETFs. Companies like Fidelity and BlackRock, these companies are some of the biggest companies in the world. And do you think they would do it if they couldn't make a little profit off of it, a small percentage from what everybody's doing? Of course. So if they are investing in it and then using it for their back office, the blockchain now, then it's not going away. It is not going away, and it's going to just be adopted by more countries and more companies. And so it's like the internet was in the early 90s. If you start learning about it now and start investing in it now, you are going to be so happy later.
Good points. Yeah, it's all about that risk assessment. Like you said, you're not investing 100% of your money in there. It's a percentage of your overall portfolio. And that really depends on the individual person, what their goals are, and what their risk tolerance really is. So you really got to come to some answers on all of those questions and then put together a plan that works for you. So all of that's really,
Exactly.
really good stuff. Sounds like your book is exactly what our college students need to really understand what the future looks like for them and get to that financial freedom that you talk about. Now, my weakness is really good food. Okay. So we love good food here. The next time I am in Los Angeles, which happens very often, where should I be going in order to get a great meal?
Well, if you come to Los Angeles, I'll take you to Le Chene. It's a French restaurant that's been around for 90 years, and they've got a gorgeous outdoor patio,
Mm,
trees, and nice environment. They've been around for a long time. Excellent food. Kind of private. It takes about 15 minutes to get there, but you can always count on a great environment, great food. And that's
I
what I
love
look
it.
for in a restaurant. I want a nice environment to enjoy my meal. I don't want it's not a fast food restaurant. Every McDonald's looks the same. I don't want a McDonald's. I want the experience of a great meal.
Yeah, I agree with you completely. Good views, with the palm trees in the background. That's always a positive. So it sounds like Lashane has exactly what the doctor ordered. So I will definitely check that out. Next time I'm in LA, I'll give you a call and we'll meet over at Lashane. And I'm sure the meal is going to be fantastic. I trust you completely. So
Absolutely.
that's really good. All right, excellent. So if our college students, if they want to book you to come and speak on their college campus, if they want to go and order your book, where should they be going in order to connect with you and all the great stuff you have to offer?
Well, all the students need to be on LinkedIn. That's your business to business profile. So everybody should have an account on LinkedIn. Then once you're on LinkedIn, just look for Dr. Robert Ramirez. You will find me. And then my personal email address is Ramirez, my last name, Ramirez .bob@gmail.com. You notice there's no numbers in it because I've had that email address for so long. It was before there were numbers in people's names. So you can reach me there. And I also provide, 30-minute free consultation to anybody that has questions. And then I provide as a service, I'll mentor them. I'll point them to the right direction to point them, oh, you need to speak to this person for help with that. I've got a group of expertise that I point people to, but I mentor them through the whole process. Okay, we need to start here, and then do this, and then do that, and then we move forward from there.
That's a great service that you're offering. So definitely go and connect with Dr. Robert Ramirez on LinkedIn. I know I'm connected with him there, and I certainly appreciate that connection. It just makes it real easy for us to pass information back and forth, set up meetings and things like that if we need to. So I think that is definitely the best place to go and do it. And then if you want to go and order his book, it's called Achieving Financial Freedom, Building Wealth Through Passive Income in the New Digital Age of Financial Intelligence. I think this is super, super important that college students have this background, have this information, so that way they can make the best decisions for their retirement. And again, start early. That's why we're having this conversation here on the Fraternity Foodie
Mhm.
podcast, is to start early. That is the biggest weapon that you have, is that you get to start early and take advantage of compounding interest. Very,
Exactly.
very important. So listen, Dr. Ramirez, I appreciate the time today. This has been really, really great. Thank you so much for sharing all this great information with our listeners today.
Michael, thank you, and let's go to Lashane.
All right, that sounds good to me. That sounds like a plan. To our listeners, if you enjoyed this conversation with Dr. Ramirez, I want you to like this and I want you to share it on social media with other college students that also need to get their financial freedom in order. And we look forward to seeing you on the next episode of the Fraternity Foodie Podcast. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.